What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Rapid Rundown. I'm Caleb, and I will be your host this week. Our contestants will be Amy on my left.
What up?
And Justin on my right.
Hello, defending champion.
So, quick breakdown of how Rapid Rundown works. There will be 3 rounds. First round is a kind of a discussion topic phase where each contestant will have 1 minute to answer a question I give them. There will be 3 different questions. After hearing their arguments, then I will award them a point based on quality of argument or just because I feel like giving them a point. Second round is pretty much the same as the first round, but we call it a speed round because this time they only have 30 seconds to answer. And this time the questions will be in the true or false form. So there will be a statement, then they have to decide whether that statement is true or false based on their opinion. Last round is our trivia round. There will be 3 questions. This time I will ask it. Whoever hits the bobblehead first. Javon Curse for Justin, Eddie George for Amy. They'll get the chance to answer that point. If they answer incorrectly, they will lose a point, and the other person will have a chance to steal.
Boom.
So,
I feel like I'm
at
a disadvantage because you guys are kind of...
You should be. Obviously, Amy's going to win because she's my wife. So that should be a no-brainer. But I'd still want to hear your argument just to pound it into the ground and then give her the point.
I'm good. Okay.
So are
Such a good sport.
You guys ready for round 1?
Ready. Let's go.
Dealing with some NFL topics here. Okay. First question.
Bring it on.
With the second half of the season underway, the contenders and pretenders in the NFL are starting to make their presence known. So, who would you say is what team would you say is the biggest disappointment of the season thus far? Amy, I'm going to start with you. 1 minute.
All right, so I'm going to go with the Jaguars as the biggest disappointment thus far, namely their offense, okay? Listen to this. Last season, Blake Bortles was behind Tom Brady with 35 touchdown passes, second leading touchdown passer in the league last year. Allen Robinson finished with 1,400 yards. That was the most in the NFL last year. And actually, 1,400 receiving yards, but he had the most touchdowns with 14 last year. Okay, and Allen Hurns had a great season last year as well. So their offense should be pretty good this season, right? No, not at all. Robinson only has 549 yards through 9 games. Hurns only has 456. Bortles has 16 touchdowns and 11 interceptions, and most of his touchdowns have come in garbage time. Compared to their stats last season, and they had all offseason to work together and improve on their performances last season, they should be way better than they are. That is my biggest disappointment for this season so far.
With 3 seconds to spare. Very nicely done. Okay, Justin, tossing the question to you with the second half of the season underway. Who would you say, what team is the biggest disappointment thus far in the NFL? 1 minute starts now.
Thank you for the question, Caleb. I appreciate it. I am going to go with the Carolina Panthers being the most disappointing team this year. Based on their success last year, this team won 15 games, cruised more or less to the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, they got taken down. Unfortunately for them, they got taken down by the Broncos. So this year, they get back their number 1 receiver, Kelvin Benjamin, who missed all of last year. And they have not gotten anything going like they were last year. They are 3-6 at the bottom of their division, complete, total surprise. Looks like that Josh Norman trade bit them in the butt harder than what they thought it would. They definitely are missing him on the defensive side of the football, but I don't think anybody has expected Carolina to regress this drastically, this quickly. They're in danger of not making the playoffs, and they have the reigning MVP on their team, and he just does not look the same. He is just crying about getting hit unfairly and illegally. But yeah, I think with the expectations, people thought that they could just pencil them into the playoffs.
Time is
another
up.
Super Bowl appearance. All right, I'm done.
But the Panthers have shown hope.
Very interesting. I am going to have to give my point to Justin on this one.
That's right. We're married.
I agree.
Wait, what?
I agree with all your points. I think the Jaguars were coming into the season with a lot of hype, especially surrounding their offense. But so were the Panthers based on they played in the Super Bowl last year, and now they're the bottom of their division, reigning MVP, and he's not playing like MVP at all.
They are showing hope.
What, they just lost at home to the Chiefs? They came back 17-0. I don't think that's hope. I think that's a point to Justin.
Chiefs are good.
Sorry, Amy, but
The Chiefs are good.
you playing the Super Bowl and then you turn around and you're the worst team in your division, only losing pretty much 1 star player. Yeah, that Josh Norman, I think it was a free agency. Was it a trade?
Oh,
anyways,
yeah,
that did. I think they're missing him more than they think. So point to Justin. Good arguments though, Amy. Did not see that coming with the Jaguars.
Me neither. Good answer though.
It was a good answer. I wanted to give you points just based on creativity, but
right now.
Carolina is the biggest disappointment. Okay, second question in round one. The NFL is ripe with a plethora of dynamic receivers of all types. Which one would you want on your team and why? Justin, lead us off. 1 minute starts now.
Justin, here we go. I am going to go with Julio Jones being my receiver of choice if I could get any receiver in the league. He is in his prime right now. He is virtually unguardable. He's putting up crazy numbers. We know last year he put up 140-something catches for 1,800 yards. Him and Antonio Brown were pretty close. But he's got the size, he's got the speed, he's got that game-changing, take the top off the defense, playmaking ability. He's one of those receivers that's impossible to guard, and I think he is the star number one receiver in the NFL of this generation. I think with Calvin Johnson retiring, I think Julio Jones has taken the mantle as the best receiver in the league. Not by far. There's a lot of good receivers, like you said. There's plenty of excellent, skilled receivers, but I think Julio Jones leads that group. He is consistent as they come, and he's got a quarterback that can get him the ball, but that has nothing to do with quality receiver. But that's my answer. I'm good. Julio Jones.
Perfect timing.
He just has to use up the whole minute.
Julio Jones is what Justin goes with. Okay,
oh, yeah.
Amy, question is yours. NFL is ripe with a lot of good receivers. Which one would you want on your team and why? 1 minute starts right now.
Give me Antonio Brown. Here's why, okay? When I'm thinking best receiver, I'm thinking two things. Someone who will help me move the ball down the field and someone who will score, okay? Julio Jones has the most receiving yards so far this season, yes, but he only has 5 touchdowns this season. Antonio Brown has got 7, and he's got 831 receiving yards, which isn't too far behind Julio Jones. So Antonio Brown can do both, get me down the field and get me in the end zone. If I just have a receiver and get me down the field but not in the end zone, I'm going to be getting field goals all day. I don't want that. I'm picking Antonio Brown for those reasons. He's a playmaker. He seems to have a really good, fun attitude, and I like someone like that on my team as well. So, Antonio Brown, that's my choice. Mic drop.
He's a good dancer, too.
With time to spare. Very interesting. Did not hear any A.J. Greens. Did not hear any Odell Beckham Jr.'s. A lot of good receivers in the league right now. It's fun to watch.
We only had to pick
yeah, you did. And I think you made very good choices. I am going to have to give Amy the point on this one, though, with the Eddie George tap on the head. Mainly because I do like Julio Jones, but he can disappear sometimes. He has a few games where he just kind of disappears. Defenses can scheme to shut him down. Antonio Brown is dynamic all across the field. The only way he has an off game is if that whole offense has an off game, especially Big Ben. He also punt returns, dynamic in the punt returning game, so makes more of an impact on different aspects of the field. I like a team with Antonio Brown over Julio Jones.
And he's a good dancer. That was a good point.
He is a good dancer with the
pelvic thrust.
Only 2, though. Only two. Okay, so that makes it even 1-1. On to our third question of round 1. The NFC North is completely up for grabs right now. So, who do you think will win and why? Amy, starting with you. 1 minute starts right now.
So, obviously, we're trying to choose between the Bears and the Packers. So... joke, guys. All right, so it's obviously between Packers, Vikings, and Lions in my mind. I'm going to go with the Packers. Right now they are 4-5 and they're in 3rd place. But I'm picking the Packers because, number one, they've got the experience, and they are so used to making the playoffs, guys. They have not missed the playoffs since 2008, okay? And yes, I understand they could win a wild card, but I think they're going to make it by winning their division. They also don't have to play the Cowboys before the end of the season, and both the Vikings and the Lions do have to play the Cowboys before the season is over, and I think those will be losses for both of them. The Packers have beat Detroit, but they lost to Minnesota earlier this season, but I think they're going to end up beating both of them, and I think their loss to Tennessee was kind of their kick in the butt to get it in gear and turn their season around. Packers.
Right on time. Wow. She has a way with words. Sorry about the timer. Stop. Okay.
Round's over.
Stop. Round is over. Amy, very nice. Nicely done. Don't give yourself a point.
trying.
Justin, NFC North is completely up for grabs right now. Who do you think's going to win and why? 1 minute starts right now.
Man, I really want to go with the Detroit Lions. I love what Matthew Stafford is doing, but man, I feel like the Vikings still have this. They still have this division. I think the Packers, it's hard not to pick them too because you know what Aaron Rodgers brings, but they don't have a running game, and I am a believer in if you want to win late in the season, you've got to have a strong running game. When it gets down to the end of the season, players are starting to wear down, break down. Weather's getting cold outside and crazy. It's going to be harder to throw the ball. Got to be able to run the football, play strong defense, and I feel like the Minnesota Vikings does that better in this division than anyone else. I know that they've dropped off several games now in a row, but they've got to turn it around eventually. And I think their schedule, yes, they do play the Cowboys, but they do have big games against the Lions and the Packers still, and they do play the Colts and the Jaguars and the Bears. So I think those are three very winnable games for the Minnesota Vikings, and I think they can make a late run here, get back in it, and win.
That's 1 minute. All right, very interesting arguments. Sorry about the timer. Justin goes with the Vikings, Amy goes with the Packers. If I had to choose, I would actually say the Lions would probably be my team of choice. But I don't see any way the Vikings are getting it back together. Not with the injuries they've dealt with, not with Sam Bradford at your helm. And I don't think the Packers will go on to win the division. But based on your arguments, they haven't missed the playoffs since 2008. They still have all those weapons on the offensive end. I know they're missing Eddie Lacy, but that team's got experience and talent on offense. They came into the Titans with the #1 rushing defense in the league, so they have defense there if Clay Matthews can get healthy. So I'm happy to give my point to Amy on this one. I was really looking for the Lions because Matthew Stafford is playing some of the best football he's ever played, even without Calvin Johnson. So I think the Lions are going to take the division, but still wild card up for grabs. And Amy made the best argument for the Packers. So that wraps up round 1.
Dang it.
Amy with a 2-1 lead on to round 2. Speed round. Each contestant will only have 30 seconds now to answer. So got to get those answers in fast. And they'll be in the true-false format. So let's get right into it, unless you'll have any objections. No objections? Okay.
I've never had a chance.
Okay. First one. First statement. Cleveland will finish 0-16 this year. Justin, true or false?
I'm going to say false. I think it is ridiculously hard to not win a single game in the NFL. And I know Detroit did it in 2008. But looking at Cleveland's schedule here, they do have some winnable games. I think it's either going to have to be the Bengals or the Buffalo Bills. They're going to have to beat one of those two teams because they got the Steelers and the Giants, the Chargers, and the Steelers again. And the Steelers are kind of struggling too. They could get one with them, but there's a chance. I think that they will finally get that highly sought after win. But I hope they do. I hope they do. Those poor Browns.
Okay.
Get a win, Browns.
All right. Amy, statement is over to you. Cleveland will finish 0-16 this year. True or false now?
Okay, this is true, and it's for all the reasons you were saying it was false. The rest of their schedule, Steelers, Giants, Bengals, Bills, Chargers, and Steelers again, I don't see any winnable games in there for them. The only one of those teams they've played already this year, the Bengals, they lost 31-7 and 31-17. Wasn't even close. I don't see any winnable games in that schedule, so I think that's a true statement.
Time to spare.
Dang, we both used the same argument but different answers. This is awkward.
Yeah. You did. It was a very interesting opinion and take on this. I thought Cleveland had some fight when they played the Titans. I have seen that fight drop off, and they've kind of been getting trounced in those games past, and they're only getting worse. I don't think the trade for Jamie Collins is going to help their team out at all. I think the rest of their schedule is really tough. The Bills are a tough team, man. They got the #2 run offense right now in the league. Tyrod Taylor is an emerging star. That may be their best chance, but I'm seeing 0-16 is a very real possibility for this team, unless RG3 can come back, which he's on schedule to do, and make a miraculous comeback. But still giving the point to Amy. Cleveland finishes 0-16, and Amy takes a 3-1 lead on Elado. That's what I call Justin, for those of you who are new to Titans. Actually, for those of you who are new to our life, because I never called you on Titans. Anyways, on to the second question in round 2, the speed round. Eric Decker is hotter than Tom Brady. True or false? Justin, I'm throwing this one to you to start. Time starts now.
He's totally hotter than Tom Brady. Have you seen his reality show with his wife? I have. He looks so great. He's such a handsome guy. He's got the charm. He's a good man, good looking man, better than Tom Brady.
You were so good.
And he can catch a football too, and that's hot.
Is that hotter than throwing a football? Is that your argument?
Yeah, like diving for a touchdown catch. That's what turns the ladies on.
All right, time's up.
And me apparently.
So you're saying catching it is hotter to you?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to Amy. Amy, Eric Decker is hotter than Tom Brady. True or false?
You sure only have 30 seconds? False. Tom Brady all the way. His experience makes him so hot. Oh my goodness, he's just been through so much. He's a leader on the field. I mean, you can just see it. He has Super Bowl wins, so he's got Super Bowl rings. That is so attractive. He wears rings. Come on. He overcomes adversity again and again. We have seen it on the field, off the field. He's always overcoming adversity, staying in the zone. And he's an underdog story. The only reason he is where he is because his starting quarterback got hurt. I mean, how...
All right, time. Interesting. You more talked about like his personality traits than his actual looks, which is what we're going
Those are the
on.
things that make him hot.
Well, I like where your standards are are at, because obviously that's why you chose me, right?
I was just describing you the whole time. I tried to pick the one that looked the most like you.
Anyways, but here's the thing.
That's
Tom
sweet. Brady
is a known cheater in the NFL, and if he's going to cheat in his profession, you know that capability is there in his marriage life, in his home life.
It's called facing adversity.
So I'm going to give Justin the point on this one,
Yeah.
as well as Eric Decker kind of has some of that, that darker caramel skin. He's got a little exoticness to him. I think that's some points on the hot
Yeah.
See, I'll
scale.
focus more on the
for
looks.
sure.
That's the weird part.
We got
is
you,
that
Eric.
The males focus more
We're
on the
going on the
looks
looks
than
of
I
it.
did.
You went on.
We're just answering the question, Amy.
Well, if you're going on personality traits, he is a cheater. No doubt about that. Got suspended 4 games.
Big time.
Facing adversity.
Eric
And
Decker's not a cheater.
the dude kind of has an attitude problem sometimes. Have you seen him go off on his teammates?
Yeah, he's a little feisty.
He's a leader.
Anyways, finishing with the third question in the speed round, and this one is just kind of an all sports question, not covering the NFL, but
Oh boy.
the Cubs winning the World Series.
They won.
They did.
Wow.
The Cubs
Man.
winning the World Series after a 100-year drought is the biggest victory in sports over the past decade. True or false? Amy, I'm tossing this one to you to start. 30 seconds now.
That is false. The Cavs coming back from being down 3-1 to the Warriors was the biggest win of our decade. The Warriors were 73-9. The Cavs had to win 3 in a row against a team who had only lost 9 games all season. They had to win a third of the games that they had lost all season in 5 months. That's never happened before in the finals, coming down from a loss like that. They had to beat them twice at home at the Oracle, where they had only lost 2 games at home all season and only lost 1 in the playoffs. And Kevin Love was absent, so it was basically just LeBron and Kyrie, and they did it, and they're awesome.
Time's
Go
up.
Cavs!
Time's
Oh
up.
my gosh.
That was a lot of points in 30 seconds.
That was
that
last
might have been the
year.
most points in 30 seconds ever.
I forgot I only had 30 seconds for that one, so I had a lot.
Yeah, it was only last year, but I think last year is included in the last decade. Stat guy, is that true? Yes, it is. Okay,
Decade's
so
10
it
years.
counts.
Challenge
Her
flag.
answer is viable. Justin, same question to you. Cubs winning the World Series after a 100-year drought is the biggest victory in sports over the past decade. True or false? 30 seconds starts right now.
Okay. I'm going to say true for sure. First of all, I'm not a baseball guy. You guys aren't baseball people, but I think this is definitely the biggest win in sports in the past decade. This might be the biggest win in sports in the past century. I mean, we're talking about history here, like 100-year-old championship drought. This has defined the Cubs ever since we've been alive, our parents have been alive, our grandparents have been alive. This history of the Cubs just being a perennial loser time and time again. Not even like a competitive team
Time's
that's
up.
make the playoffs, but they've lost all the time, and they finally turned the script, and that narrative is now vanquished.
All right, so you're
that
getting
hadn't happened in 100 years compared to something that had never happened.
She does make a good last-second point there.
The
but
Cubs have been a team for like 60 years longer.
your time is done, folks. But there's been a lot of big sports moments over the past decade. I would throw in.
And it's the World Series Game 7 and how that played out.
I would
that
throw
was
in.
super dramatic.
Someone can make the argument the Giants beating the 16-0 Patriots, or the undefeated Patriots. I guess they were more than 16 at that point in the Super Bowl. That was a big win. I would categorize that probably as third. I'm going to say the Cavs over the Golden State Warriors comes in at second. Over the past decade, yes, I think it was huge, but just based on the history of baseball and the Cubs,
What do
that
you know
historic
about the
team,
history of
and I know
baseball?
I'm not a baseball guy, but throw it back to Steve Bartman and that whole situation when the Cubs had their closest chance to win, and that just curse that kind of crept over that city. People thought they would never
a
win.
true curse.
They turned it around this year. I got to go 100 years without a championship. They do it.
Something
I'm
that
not a
never
baseball guy,
happened.
but you got to go with the Cubs
Never
on that
happened
one.
ever. Not even in the last 150 years.
So
I don't know
that
who my husband
closes.
is anymore.
That closes. I know. You made really good points too, but
I don't want you to
All right. Is it tied up?
it is tied up 3-3 going into the last trivia round. So this time I will ask a trivia question. They both have 20 seconds to hit the ball, hit their bobblehead on the head, bobble the bobble, and then whoever hits it first gets to answer. So here are our trivia questions, NFL questions. First off, currently, who has the best QB rating of anyone in the league this year? No minimum of passes required. Justin.
Oh, great. DeMarco Murray then?
You are correct.
Yes.
DeMarco Murray currently leading the NFL in passer rating.
I had to change my answer right.
Yeah, you didn't let me finish the question, but
I still
that's
got
okay.
it.
You
That
did
was a
still
trick question.
get
Are you
it.
kidding me?
I mean, you can't do better than one
close
pass for
second right
one
now.
touchdown.
Can anyone guess close second for no points? It's actually a quarterback this time.
Tom
It's a
Brady.
back-
Tom Brady, yes. Can you
Really?
believe that? Tom
That
Brady is
is
second in the
retardedly
league
good.
right now. So technically he's first in
So
terms of the position. But okay, Justin gets that one right. All right, next one. There is actually two answers in this one. I only need one though. But who has the most receiving touchdowns on the year so far? Amy.
It is
Timer.
Mike Evans and Mike.
You only
I know,
have to get one.
I know Mike Evans is one.
That's correct. Did you look at my questions?
No.
Okay, Mike Evans is right.
That's a very
Hold on.
impressive.
I know the other one. Hold on. Shoot.
I'm trying to think.
That's
too.
some impressive knowledge.
It's
didn't-
Mike Evans and. Can you tell me a team?
We just played him.
Oh, Jordy Nelson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jordy Nelson. I kind of want to give her a bonus point for that, but she did
No.
ask for a hint. So I will stick to my
I
word.
knew, I knew it was someone
I
that you
will
wouldn't think.
I will stick to my word. Yeah, Mike Evans, Jordy Nelson
Oh.
leading the league in reception and
With
touchdown
8.
receptions with
Almost a
with
double.
8 each. I thought someone would go for a tight end for sure, but okay. And maybe Amy saw my questions. Anyways,
She did.
so that 4-4. Going on to the last question.
Overtime.
Who? I'm gonna have to have like hands under the table to start with. Can we get hands under the table? Thank you. Which QB has the most completions in the league right now? Go. Amy.
Matt Ryan.
False.
I mean, shoot.
Loses a point. Justin to steal.
Drew Brees.
Drew Brees is it.
Yeah.
So Amy loses a point. Justin steals, which ends the game at Justin 5 points.
Oh, yeah.
Amy 3 points.
Can't believe you didn't pick the Cavs.
It was a good guess. He's not even number 2 though. Kirk Cousins is currently number 2.
That
Surprising.
would have been
That would have
crazy.
They like to throw the ball, yeah. Maybe I should get. But guys, thanks for watching our second episode of Rapid Rundown.
Good game.
Good job.
Good game.
Good game.
Justin is our winner. So next week we'll switch it up. It'll be me versus Amy, and Justin will be the mediator. So we're just gonna keep rotating each week. If you guys have any topics you want us to cover in one of the rounds or a trivia question for us, leave it in the comments below.
Yeah, please.
because we'd love to, have more topics, especially from the fans. Hear what you guys want to hear us just debate about.
Yeah.
But anyways, if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, because we like that. It makes us feel good.
We
inside.
like that.
We like
Warms my heart.
that. But anyways, that is another episode of Rapid Rundowns in the books, and we will see you later.
Peace.
Woo!